there needs to be something that pisses me off enough that I want to like,
Energizes you.
yeah, like to just like talk about stuff is like not,
Especially like scripted nonsense,
yeah,
bro.
like I can't do that.
I actually, so I had like most of my stuff I just do myself, and then I had for the last couple of since about January, I had a videographer like on retainer, like 4.5 grand a month, and then we do like a day's like shooting and
Mm.
stuff. And dude, like I've got a terrible poker face. I've got a terrible poker face. Like if I'm not feeling it, bro, it's like it's written over here.
Yeah, yeah.
So like now I've got to like schedule like this time. I mean, I'm paying good money for it, and the guy's good. But now I've got to like sit there and like we've got to bang out like a bunch of videos.
Even if
and
you
then
don't feel like it.
my bro, and then I fucking it's become a thing. Like my manager will inevitably walk upstairs with bad news, and I tell him like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like I've got to sit here and be like, yo, lekker guys, like this is our business, this is what we do.
And are you thinking about that?
I've got to get to this problem that these fucking idiots can't solve.
Yeah. No,
Anyway, so I've stopped that now. Like the video, like I just do things myself when I'm amped.
I've been trying to do the same thing for like content for like martial arts content,
Okay.
and every time I'm about to do it, I'm like, don't feel like doing it. So then I just don't go. It'll be like a Sunday, like the only day that I can like actually record for like 10 hours.
Yeah.
And I'll wake up and I'll look at my wife and be like, I'm not doing this today.
Jeez, bro, like when I started like following you on social media, you were doing a lot of like those like technique
Yes.
videos, like those shorts, dude.
Yes.
I really dig those.
So like
Very cool shit.
when I was doing that, one of the guys that trains here, he is like a very good like director,
Okay.
director or like
Videographer guy.
videographer, yeah.
Okay.
And when he during that time he had time to come,
Mm,
and I'd be like, oh, but just come and like film this, and then like, because if it's cool if I'm like coaching a class,
yeah,
and they're like kind of shooting it, and then I don't feel like I'm like in the camera,
100%.
you know. That was cool, but then now obviously he's like busy and like you can't do it, so I'm never gonna set up my tripod and
Dude,
like do
I know
it.
exactly.
I just can't do it.
No, I know.
Can't do
Yeah,
it.
I feel fucking stupid, dude.
Yeah, I hate it. I feel like I
The
just
result is great, but
Yeah.
like,
even in the gym, like when I do my like workouts, like I feel okay doing it here, like at my gym.
yeah.
But, like when I'm at like a public gym and I'm like set up my tripod, I'm like, I can't believe I'm fucking doing this. I can't believe I'm doing this. But I have to. I have to do it. You just got to do it. You got to do it. You got to get over it and just do it.
100%. And like, it's not even like for yourself. Like you're doing it, like you are bettering other people's lives as well. And that's like a good way to like think of it, maybe.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
It's like I don't feel like it, but this might just help like fucking somebody today.
One person. Yeah, exactly.
It makes it
100%. So today we have my friend here, Mark, and he owns Gun License SA. He is one of the biggest advocates for civilians and citizens getting guns, getting responsible gun ownership up in South Africa, protecting gun rights, and you know, how did you get into guns? How did you get into this whole story? Because like it's not something that like someone just like fucking picks up like a hobby, like all of a sudden like I'm gonna be like the gunman.
By accident, like stumble into it. Jeez, bro. So first of all, thank you for having me on, bro.
Of course,
it is
thank
an
you for
absolute
coming.
honor and a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to be sitting here with you. I've been a big fan of yours for a long time, and now to get invited on here, it's like the thing. Like I
it's
can
my
like,
pleasure.
tick it off my list, bro. So thank you for that. Sure, man. The quick version is when I was a little kid, man, I would pick up sticks and pretend that they were guns, basically. Like, I mean, I'm talking like 2, 3, 4 years old. I've got photos from back in the day where, you know, anything was a gun. Fast forward until I was about 12 years old, and I went to an outdoor show in Paarl where they were doing clay shooting. So I thought, hey, man, that looks epic. I dig guns, you know, I've never actually like, you know, shot a real one. So I'm going to go and shoot this. And I'm fast forwarding a little bit. I think I shot once on a farm before that. I was about 10. So that was like the first time that I shot a gun. And I don't come from a gun family. I'm the only like gun guy in my family. But I remember like I digged it. I loved it. And I shot at this outdoor event in Paarl, and I hit all the clays, and this guy was like, shit, okay.
Not bad.
You know, you should probably, you know, like probably go and see like if this is something that you could do, because nobody else can, you know, shot all the clays. I shot all the clays. So you put me in touch with a place called Valley Gun Club, also out in Paarl. And basically my mom took me there the one day. I remember it because we got lost. Drove around fucking hours looking for this thing. Eventually we found it. We spoke to the manager there, Neil, and he said, come back on Saturday. You need to speak to a guy called Drew. And Went back there, chatted to Drew, and within a year, I was SA Junior Champion
Sure.
for ATA and DTL track.
Sure.
Drew has now passed away, but he was my coach for years, and he basically coached me up to a point where I was like super, super competitive. I because of him and his coaching, I got a whole bunch of um, awards and won a whole bunch of competitions and all of that stuff, which I think helped propel me like into the firearm world, because when I left school, I got a job offer to go work at Safari Outdoor, which is a big retailer.
Yeah.
They were by far the biggest retailer in South Africa at the time. And yeah, geez, bro, like the rest is history. So I basically have been working in guns directly out of school. I've been doing it now like a decade and a half almost.
Sure.
I applied to the police twice. I wanted to, help people in that way. I think they threw my application away. They just didn't get back to me. So yeah.
What was the like? I'm trying to think like going from like sports shooting to like, okay, now I want to obviously become a policeman, or like want to get like like I'm trying to figure out like how you bridge the gap from like sport to like now like going to like wanting to like save lives and like become this is like your like identity.
100%. So I think the two are kind of like intermeshed. So before I started selling guns and like directly out of school, I applied to SAPS twice. I had an idea. I wanted to be in flying squad. That's what I wanted to do. My parents took me for these aptitude tests, and they're like, "Oh, fucking please, go do something else." Aptitude tank. This guy's gonna be a cop. Like,
That's so cool.
So that kind of backfired on them a little bit. I just didn't get in, Bruce. So then I thought, okay, well, what's the next best thing? I'm gonna study law. So I started studying LLB through UNISA while I was working at Safari selling guns. Passed my first year, hated sitting behind a desk, so I stopped that. So I passed, but then I stopped. And I thought, okay, cool, fuck, like maybe BCom, just like the most generic thing that I could think of, BCom business management. Didn't dig that either. Started doing well, in Safari. I got promoted up and whatnot. I went to Joburg to open the Rivonia store, like a really big like flagship thing. That was super cool. Came back to the Stellenbosch branch. This was about 5 years into working for Safari. They went through like a big corporate takeover, so I was there because I wanted to. Like if you cut me, I'd bleed Safari blood. I was super super loyal to the guys. Corporate takeover happened. I left. Went to a place called Clay Pigeon Adventures. Worked there for about a year, and then in 2017 I started my business, which was gunportal.net at the time, and we did everything, my bro. Like we cast a very wide net because I started the company with nothing.
Yes.
I had I think like 15 grand saved up like to my name. I had an idea, I had contacts, and I had the know-how, and I suppose a little bit of balls, because it was,
It's always a risk.
It took a lot to do it, but I was getting into it just now, but I was drinking at the time. So I think that like lack of inhibition was like, I'm just going to, do it.
Yeah.
I haven't touched alcohol for 9 years.
Sure.
But
Well done.
I think maybe that was,
lit the fire to like
kind of, bro.
throw you out there.
Literally just like, okay, cool. Like I've got
No
this
fear,
idea.
just go for
Let's just do it, bro. Jump off the cliff and open the parachute,
Yeah.
So after a couple of years, things started like going like better. We were very blessed with like the clients and the friends and stuff that like I had. So I mean, with hard work, like early mornings, late nights, it wasn't like an easy ride, but it was well worth it.
I mean, any entrepreneur like starting out,
bootstrapping it, bro.
especially when you have like no fucking idea, like you think you know the industry until you're in the industry. Like when we opened the gym, we thought we knew how to run a fucking gym because we had been in a gym. And then you like run a gym, and you're like, what the fuck? I don't know anything.
It's
you have to kind of just
it's completely different.
Figure it out. Same thing, just like on your balls and just like, I'm gonna do this.
Just make it work.
Yeah.
And exactly. It's like a whole thing of like burn the boats, because long story short, I don't have rich parents that I can fall back on. So it's like, okay, you want to eat this month, you're gonna make it work, and you can only make so much money selling monsters. So went through that. Very, 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 very blessed in that process. And then I think about 3 years after that, we really started like doing better. I partnered up right from the beginning with my current business partner, Carl. He's the owner of Gunnery Arms. So
Okay.
we kind of like work. We are how can I say? We are two separate entities, but we work together.
For sure.
And we've grown closer over the years. So we've got like some really cool joint things that we're doing now. We've got buildings next to one another, which we're like bashing through, and we're like one
Cool.
organization.
I mean, I did my competency with
Dude,
you
you must come check it now. We're building like a brand new classroom and big vault. And anyway, but so we basically then rebranded as gunlicense.co.za, and we specialized in licensing and training and that type of stuff. So to come back to your question, the whole bridging the gap between the two, I think that they were both there. I think I try to do the SAPS like life-saving thing first. Didn't work out, so I loved firearms, so I basically, that was like a natural kind of way to go. And now it's kind of like looped back into us being able to empower and help people in that way and train them up and get involved with security and that type of stuff. So it's kind of like come full circle in a lacquer way, because now I get to help people and stuff, but like on my own terms, like in the private industry where I've got control over it.
Yes.
There's no bureaucratic nonsense in my business. We deal with the government a lot, which is one big bureaucracy, but I've managed to do it on my own terms, which I'm very grateful for.
That's good. That's awesome. And do you think there is like I mean, we're talking about like saving lives and like safety and like keeping yourself, empowering yourself. Do you think like there is, because I mean, I know for myself, like if we have to call the police now and say like someone's shooting right now, first of all, the time that it takes for them to even get here, and if they do get here, the likelihood of someone actually ending up in prison because of it, or like someone's life being saved because of it. I mean, I know it's I've been in a scenario where things have happened and you've had to call the police and like nothing happens. You have to actually deal with it yourself, basically. Do you think like in a place like South Africa, there is a like necessity to be able to defend yourself, like in terms of not just knowing how to like handle yourself physically, but with firearms? I mean, like,
absolutely, bro, absolutely. And when was the last time like you actually called the police? And to those guys watching, like I challenge you as well, think about it. When was the last time you actually called the police in a time of necessity?
Yeah, no, I haven't. It's been probably when I was in school.
So I can tell you when the last time I called the police in the time of necessity. So in the estate where we stay, we had a guy having a complete mental breakdown. He was like, getting violent, and it was a shit show. And people were like, oh, call the police. I wasn't getting involved at this point, but I was at the point where, okay, cool, if somebody is going to actually like breach into like this guy's like apartment, I'm going to be there because I've got the skill set and the contacts to basically do it. But I also want to respect people's privacy and that type of stuff. I'm very big on civil rights and like personal rights and liberties and that. So I don't want to infringe on other people's stuff. If you're having a bit of a shouting thing on your balcony or whatever, cool, my bro, that's fine. When you cross the line and now people need to get it, like emergency services need to get involved, then we obviously step in. So somebody said, call the police. And I actually had a chuckle and I said, okay, cool, I'll call the police. I called our local station 5 times. I got through once, and then they said, oh, okay, Yala, we'll put you through to so-and-so, and the call died. So the cops were and I think other people were also trying to call the cops. Guys, the cops are not going to come. We are living in a third world country with third world government resources, and we are trying to apply first world
resources
ideologies
that are not being used where they should be.
Absolutely
used.
not.
So the finite amount of resources that we do already have as a third world country are being taken, and then there's like a little trickle left to fund people like the police. I mean,
100%.
You'll make more money working as a waitress or waiter than you will being a police person.
Yeah.
Where you're in like one of the most dangerous places in the world, and you're going to risk your life to go. I know personally, like, am I going to go risk my life for a bunch of strangers as my job for like 5,000 Rand a month?
It has to be a calling.
I'm not going to do it.
So the cop salaries, they're not that terrible, but I mean, still, like, you're going to make a lot more money in the private sector.
Yes.
yeah, I obviously researched all of this
Yeah.
stuff and whatnot. But what I can say, just on the back of that, you get fantastic cops that are there for
Yes.
the right reasons. You get absolute superstars. The problem is they are not just fighting criminals, they are fighting their bosses, they are fighting the system, which is working against them. Because
Exactly.
once again, we are trying, it's a very interesting place where South Africa is at the moment. We've got a social welfare state, plus it is a failed state. So we've got people that are trying to apply like Western ideals mixed with like socialism, communism, and third world resources, and that's kind of where we are. So,
Yeah.
long story short, you get some fantastic cops.
Yes.
The chances that you're going to get one of those cops is very few and far between. The chances that you're going to get through to some incompetent moron is
much higher.
and unfortunately that's probably the person that you're going to call at your station level. And even 10111, if you get through, I'll tell you a story. I hit someone on the N2 a while ago, knocked and killed the guy. He had just robbed somebody on the other side of the road, and he was like darting across. He just stepped in front of my car. I did nothing spectacular. Instant karma, I believe one of the cops said. This is like poetic justice. But point I'm trying to make is I followed the procedure, stopped, made the call, 10111, and the guy literally like, yeah, no, but you must call somebody else.
Word.
Which is fine, because I was going to call a private person in any case.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show, like, listen, I'm not running, I'm stopping, I'm trying to basically like assist. And we did assist. We got him out of the road, and we tried to help as much as we could. But long story short, you are on your own, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had my personal experiences as well that, you have to sort yourself out.
Yeah.
And, if you have to take away guns, the big guy's still going to move the little guy.
Yeah.
Honestly,
100%.
and I'm saying this on camera, if you had to attack me, I'm shooting you, bro. I'm not going to fucking fight Don Madge like hand to hand.
I mean, that is a fair point. And also, like, even myself, if there's 4 guys,
Yeah.
I'm not winning that fight.
You also don't know who the fuck they are.
I'm not going to win that fight.
This is the thing.
It's four against one.
So now it's brutal.
And then you add your wife in the mix, and a child or 2 kids in the mix, where you're trying to protect them with 4 people.
No, dude.
It's just the reality of being able to physically fight someone then versus the risk that you could potentially have.
100%.
Like you
it's a no-brainer.
You got to increase the force. You have to increase
100%.
the response. It's just there's a reason that police walk around with firearms.
Bro, at the end of the day, right? If you're living in like a kumbaya society, something like, I want to say like Finland or like Switzerland's still pretty law-abiding. Everybody in that society, they don't actually carry guns, but everyone is following the same rules. Okay, we stop at the light, we wait for the little man to turn green, we don't commit fraud, we don't do this, we don't do that. Everyone in that society has signed basically like a social contract. It takes one bastard to fuck that whole thing up.
Yeah.
Right? You can have a village of law-abiding people. There's one shit stirrer that is going to mess it up for everybody. You add a whole bunch of shit stirrers into the mix, and how can you have perfectly law-abiding people
100%.
along violent criminals? You cannot.
You can't.
Apply that to South Africa, and we've got a crime problem that is way out of control. We've literally, our murder rates, there's like between 30 and 40,000 murders in South Africa every single year, upwards of 150,000 violent armed robberies, right? Upwards of 50,000 rapes. Now, that number has gotten higher, and there are there's a lot of evidence to prove that a lot of rapes don't actually go reported. It's just it's just a cultural thing. So we've got this criminal element. And the fact is that guns do exist. You can't just flip a switch and say, okay, cool, they're just all gone. I think it would be a bigger problem, because now you still got knives, you still got swords. You ban everything in the world. We're still gonna beat each other with this, and then the bigger guys are gonna beat up the little guys, or kill the little guys, and the people with the bigger numbers are always going, so
and you forget about the most vulnerable of society. So then you think of like women and children.
100%.
So it's like, then what happens to those people?
They get fucked up.
Right now, a woman can go through the legal processes, get a firearm, carry herself. Her chances of surviving an attack against a man is like super high now.
Of course.
Because she's equaled the playing field.
It literally is the great equalizer.
When there's 0 weapons, if all the weapons disappeared today, there's no ways that a woman would be able to protect herself against men. It would be savage.
It's a
Exactly. It would be
It
savage.
would be
Medieval
brutal.
times.
It would I want to say almost worse than
Yeah.
medieval times, because there was some form of structure there.
Mhm.
It would be no, it would be terrible.
Yeah.
So, using a firearm to protect your life is probably the most effective and efficient way of saving a life. So gun ownership in South Africa is a matter of life and death. And could you imagine if only the criminals and the government had
Oh
guns,
no.
and law-abiding people were left basically just defenseless? Dude, it would be a massacre. It would
Brazil.
be literally Brazil. Brazil, actually, there's a lot of criminals that get shot fucked up over there.
Yeah.
If you had it, because there are still good guys with guns. If you want to look at a real situation where the Soros Foundation has actually gotten their gun-free South Africa, like if gun-free South Africa got their way, it would look more like Venezuela currently. So
I was gonna say.
Venezuela was disarmed in 2014 by the same things, oh guys, it's, we super virtuous and guns are bad, give us your guns, we'll protect you. Dude, oh yeah, 100%. The beautiful picture of socialism. Give us your guns. You don't need guns. The government will protect you. You don't need, private this, private that. We'll look after you. Not very long after that, the government was literally driving over citizens with tanks in the streets. That is where we are heading if this armament comes. So it's incredibly important that we fight this fight.
100%. I mean, like the argument that I always have is like, okay, if guns are necessary, then why do the police carry guns?
And military.
Explain to me why they need firearms then.
Yeah.
Because if they're carrying firearms, there's obviously a need for firearms.
Yep.
Otherwise,
logical, right?
Why would they carry firearms? Like, it
100%.
makes no sense. If everything was going to be done hand to hand, no one would need to carry firearms. But yet they are carrying firearms. And why do they carry firearms? Because criminals carry firearms. And if they don't carry firearms, they carry knives and sticks and bats and swords and all sorts of shit
100%.
that they will use to inflict damage.
Yeah.
So you need to stop that threat. And
100%.
the quickest way to stop that threat is obviously...
It's super duper efficient.
Yeah,
exactly. Super duper efficient. So it's incredibly important. It's something that I'm very passionate about, and it's something that I will continue to fight while I've still got breath in my lungs.
Yeah.
And not just for myself. I genuinely see this as a bigger issue for all South Africans. So this is the mistake people make. They think, because they're currently coming after the people with the red shirts. I don't have a red shirt, so I'm not going to say anything. And then they come for the people with the yellow shirts, but I don't have the yellow shirts, so I'm not going to say anything. And then they come for the people with the green shirts. Fuck, like, we're on our own now because they've taken out everybody else.
Yeah.
Gun rights in South Africa affect absolutely everybody. I've used my firearm before to protect other people. So a strong, family unit with, well-armed parents and that type of stuff, you amplify that over a street, and all of a sudden you've got a fucking safe society. You strip people's ability to protect themselves, and you put the monopoly of violence into the state, which is a criminal state as far as I'm concerned, or just general, like street criminals, and you have got a recipe for a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, the argument's always like, okay, but look at countries like Australia. Okay, Australia, they don't have you don't have much gun rights there. But look what happened during COVID in Australia. They were like locked into camps and they weren't allowed to see their families if you tested positive for COVID. It's like there was nothing you could do about it. You couldn't fight back. The government have guns. You don't have guns. There's fuck all you can do about it.
Literally.
The opposite, though, if you look at on the opposite side of the planet, you look at Brazil, where there's very little gun rights, or Mexico, where there's literally one gun store in the whole of Mexico. I think I read that somewhere.
I'll just check that out.
There's one gun store in like the whole of Mexico that you can actually buy a gun from because the laws are so low. They have like one of the highest gun murder rates in the world.
Cartel level stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you look at a country like Switzerland, where most people own guns, right? There's a high gun ownership, but it's very, very low gun murder rates.
Yeah.
So clearly, if guns were the problem, Switzerland would be a shit show.
Yeah.
Right? Australia and Brazil are on the two opposite ends of the spectrum, but then you've got an authoritarian government who basically control you, and they tell you. In Australia, it's like if they decide that you've had too many drinks in a bar, they just tell you need to go home. They say, "Cool, out you go." There's no like freedom. If you say something publicly about the government, guess what happens to you?
We'd be fucked.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
happens. And
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do to stop it because you are an unarmed, you're a sheep
You're a
surrounded
subject. You're a subject at that
by a
bunch.
bunch of wolves.
Yeah.
And
Literally.
everyone wants to turn onto the US and be like, oh, there's mass shootings and stuff. But it's like their violent gun crime versus South Africa's violent gun crime, if you take population size in account, it's not even close. It's like everyone
Literally.
always wants to point out the mass shootings. And yes,
Yeah.
while those are insane, there was a mass shooting in Australia where they don't own guns.
Yeah.
Like recently.
That happens.
And it's like
Yeah.
it'll happen. Now in my argument would be what is worse? A mass shooting that happens, which is terrible, right? And it gets nullified and gets dealt with. That happens 6 times a year.
Yeah.
At like a big, like at most.
Yeah.
Versus daily 60 murders, 70 murders every single day. People are getting killed and raped and attacked and robbed every single day for 365 days of a year. Which one of those societies would you prefer to live in? Me personally, I'd take my chances living in a society where potentially someone could maybe walk into a building, but I'll have a firearm and I can put him down.
Somebody had to walk in now, it would probably be a bad
could put him down, you know?
thing for them to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And versus a place where you can't do that. Someone walks in now, they've got an illegal firearm, they decide to do something, we can't do anything except die.
It's an interesting one, bro. Like you've mentioned a couple of things here which I think are super, super important. And you know, several things can be right at the same time.
Yes.
You know, this is the big thing. So I think let's first look at like the authoritarian kind of aspect of this. And if we look back in history, right, we don't even have to go super duper far. Every single gross government overreach, every single genocide, every single time that a government has fucked with its citizens, it is preceded by a disarmament because armed citizens are harder to mess with than unarmed sheep or subjects. So absolutely, I mean, if you go back, you know, I don't think the Jewish chaps would have gotten on the trains if they were armed. But it started out as a disarmament for your own safety.
Yeah.
For your own safety, because guns are bad.
And believe in us, we're going to take care of you.
The government, man. You're the good old government. Okay, that's the last gun, rounded up, whoop, in you go.
Yeah.
I mean, in South Africa, under apartheid, there were certain groups of population that weren't allowed firearms, and they were fucked with.
Yeah.
You go back to the Soviet Union, dude, made the Holocaust look like child's play.
Yeah.
Socialism
everyone
under
forgets about that.
dude, 100%.
Yeah.
There's actually a book I lady put down the other day. It's the Gulag Archipelago.
Stalin was.
This was the same time that all of this expropriation or our compensation stuff was happening, and I thought, Jesse, bro, I mean, this is literally happening like out of this book. So I had to put it down a little bit, read something a little bit more uplifting, because you know it's rule number one in the communist socialist playbook is disarm the victim population, and then you get you know, these how can I say, progressive countries like you mentioned Australia. The UK is going that way as well, where you're literally going to jail for saying bad words or things that are offensive to a certain group of people. Dude, that is incredibly, you know, it's a massive infringement on your God-given rights to certain freedoms and liberties and stuff. So for a government to have that type of control over its citizenry is never good. History has proven that. The second thing you mentioned there was, you know, Switzerland. Basically, they've still got military conscription, or they had until recently. I must go check if they still have it. You take your I think they were, geez, it was like a R1 type rifle. It was, I think a Heckler & Koch. I only get people taking me out in the comments now. Drop a comment. What do they actually carry?
I know it is a rifle.
I must go Google this. It's basically it's their service rifle.
Yeah.
They take home. So you know that, listen, this house that I'm potentially going to break into now, I know that there's a trained soldier with his rifle in that house. That's a cuck idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to not do that. Me as a criminal, I'm rather going to send my CV out because, you know, it's less risky than me trying to break in here.
Yeah.
Whereas you take a unarmed society, me as a criminal, right? So if countries South Africa and the ANC fucking have their way, it's going to be a case of, okay, cool, I know for a fact that there's nobody in here with a gun. I'm a criminal. I've got an illegal gun and I don't listen to the law. So you're fucking anti-gun, gun right, gun ban, gun this and that. does nothing to me but empower me, because now I know that I can go into this place, and this guy last week had a whole bunch of guns, he's well trained, he would have shot me in the face. Now, because he's a good law-abiding citizen, he's got no guns. I'm going to go in, I'm going to rape his family, I'm going to take everything that he has. And to come back to another thing, I'm not going to get investigated. Statistically, I'm not going to get caught. And even if I do get caught, as in go to court, it's going to get thrown out. So I'm massively emboldened as a criminal piece of shit to go and victimize people. And then the third thing, sorry, I'm talking a lot now.
No.
But you touched on a whole bunch
you
of very
You are the expert in this field.
So you mentioned also like the whole American thing. And this is such an interesting one. And I'm going to unpack it super quickly, because a lot of people like to point to America and say, oh, but guns and mass shootings and stuff. Okay. So they have got laws in place to basically keep guns in good civilian hands. You must remember that a lot of these people are already red flagged on the FBI watch list. They're already felons. They get guns illegally. So tightening up on good people is going to do very, very little.
Opposite.
It's going to do very, very little to have these people, not have guns. Criminals are going to get illegal things. Doesn't matter. That's literally, they're criminals. They don't follow the law. So
last time I checked, murder and robbery is illegal.
It's still illegal. Yet it still happens.
It still happens every day.
Crazy how that
No matter
happens.
how much they tell us how illegal it is, it still happens.
We should get offended about it.
Yeah.
Maybe that would make us, geez. So, tightening up on gun laws is going to do very little. The only thing that it would probably do is make a larger group of the population victims. Now, if you have a look at the majority of these mass shootings, okay, they happen in gun-free zones.
Yes.
Because you, as a weak-minded, mostly liberal, that's the fucking truth, psychopath or transgender person or whatever the fuck,
it's like a church, it's a campus.
Yes, it is like it's like a one-person, one-sided shooter game. The second that these people get engaged, they break down and they basically disengage. It happened now the other day at that.
It's schools, it's churches, it's college campuses. Like it's places where they know no one's gonna be armed. It's gonna be gun free. Yeah, exactly.
So that's the one thing. Also, gun laws over the last 60 years have just tightened up in America. 60 years ago, there weren't mass shootings. Okay, people used to literally, and this is documented, people used to literally have like their rifles in their trucks, in their buckies. They used to go to school, go to college or whatever, and go to the shooting range or go hunting afterwards. No mass shootings. All right. The laws get tighter. People get more woke, more liberal, and I honestly believe that is the problem with America. They have got they've got a mind problem, not a gun problem.
I feel like that's the problem in most places.
It is.
It's like you and I could both have firearms now. We're not going to just start shooting each other.
We're sitting here, like, both arms, super civil.
It's not going to happen because we're both of sound mind.
Yeah.
We're both not radicalized. We're both not psychopaths. We're both sitting here and we can have a conversation because we are civilized people.
Exactly.
Now we throw an uncivilized person in the mix, that might change.
Of course.
But that can happen without a firearm.
Yeah.
Like me and you could be sitting here and an uncivilized person can get in here without a firearm. We don't have firearms. That person is not going to have a good time regardless. They're still going to start shit regardless 100%. Of their firearm or not.
Yeah.
We see it all the time. And it's to me, it seems like such an obvious argument. It's the equivalent of saying, okay, no one's allowed to play any martial arts anymore. Because me versus someone that isn't trained, they're not going to win the fight. So like, should I not be allowed to train martial arts now? Because I could potentially kill you with my hands.
Yeah.
Should I not be allowed to do that? Because I could potentially do something? No, because as a cultured person or a civilized person, I'm not just going to go around killing people because I want to.
And you've got rights and liberties, and it's not for some arbitrary force to take away your right to enjoy certain things. It's like taking away cars from sober drivers because there's one or two people that drive drunk.
100%.
I mean, you're going to legislate yourself into an absolute corner, and then you are going to get overrun by people that do illegal things.
Yeah.
Because the only people that are going to follow all of these arbitrary fucked up laws is law-abiding people. But this, I mean, it's so obvious to kind of say this.
Yeah, it seems like the most obvious thing in the world.
And it is obvious. But the powers that are pushing these types of things, they are not pushing these things for safety. So gun control in South Africa it's got nothing to do with stopping crime. Absolutely nothing to stop crime. It is to control the victim population. It is to control the voting base. It's to control the money flow. All of these other types of this unfriendly legislation is coming alongside this anti-gun push. And if I was a socialist or communist, I would probably gone about it the other way. I would have first disarmed everybody, and then come with the Bella Act and expropriation without compensation and all of these other unfriendly socialist kind of things that they're pushing. But at the end of the day, I think that civilian firearm ownership is incredibly important as a check of power, not just for criminals, but for a government that needs to be kept honest. And I believe that a government is there to administer systems and processes for the betterment of everyone in society, not to rule over them with a communist iron fist. And that's something I'm very, very passionate about as well.
I mean, I agree. I mean, we were talking off camera before about like all the different organizations that are involved, and you were basically saying that like Gun Free SA, and I said it to you as well. It's like I've never really spoken to someone like on the ground level like this, where they've been like, oh no one should have guns. It's like it's so bad to have. It's like the worst thing in the world. Most people are like, yeah, I just haven't done it because it's a mission, and it is a fucking mission to get it done.
Could be a lot easier.
They make it very fucking difficult. Very difficult to do. That's usually the main reason people don't do it. It's because it's a fucking lust. It's a ball ache, and you've got to basically like give them like a blood sample in order to like.
And it takes months, and
it takes very long.
Yeah,
it's a very, very long process.
But you could just go. I mean, dude, if you gave me $2,000 and an hour now, I could probably bring you back an illegal gun.
Exactly. It's that easy. It's so easy.
It's
so easy. It's so easy.
I'd probably just go to the local police station.
It's so easy. You probably go across the road here. They've got this little settlement over here. I'm sure someone has an illegal firearm here.
That's literally how it is.
So you were saying that like at the ground level, like no one's really opposing people carrying, because we've always been able to carry guns in South Africa, right? That's been like a long standing law, right?
So
I mean, I'm not sure.
So I actually did a video on this a little while ago on our YouTube channel, basically gun control. I called it in South Africa. So obviously, when the settlers came here, they had firearms. They dominated everyone without firearms, obviously, because it's a hell of a technology, all right? Then the British came, and they came with their, kind of gun control and their heavy-handed power, and they basically tried to disarm the Afrikaner population at the time. Then the whole Great Trek thing happened. And then there was bloody war between them, and it was because the mighty British Empire had the monopoly on violence. They often, man, it was illegal for obviously local tribesmen to have firearms unless very, very strict things we were working for the British. They tried to outlaw the Afrikaners' guns. The Khoisan weren't allowed to have guns. So it was very much like a listen, my bro, we've got the guns, you do as we say, type of thing. Then, obviously, there was, a couple of wars fought. Apartheid came in, and there was a large group of people that were not allowed firearms. The victim population, once again, it's incredibly efficient. If you want to control a group of people, take away their guns, you keep your guns, you can just,
you would almost
point your gun at them, and they have to do what you want.
You would almost argue that it's almost like colonialist to not allow guns.
Yes.
It's actually anti-colonialism to allow guns.
Yes.
Because you can at least defend your land, you can defend your own property.
Yes.
Because like from what you're telling me, like I actually watched a YouTube thing on like the history of like the Dutch and then like the British and like what happened and how like certain tribes were working with the British government and some were working with the Afrikaners and stuff like that, and how bloody and how fucking hectic it was.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is like basically like the British government were like, no, we're gonna take all your guns away, and then we're gonna be the boss.
Yeah, super like authoritarian.
Yeah.
Civilian firearm ownership is actually, and I'm going to use this in like the good sense of the word, but it's a liberal concept where freedom, personal safety, personal freedoms are respected, personal rights are respected, whereas a kind of fascism is a lovely word that people like to throw around. They don't even know what the fuck it means, but they throw it around. If one of the first things that a fascist dictator will do, a true fascist dictator, right, like Stalin, is he will disarm the victim
Yeah.
population. So trying to, curate how people think and what they may say and what they may not say, and it is a very, kind of like, I want to say almost like far right type of thing. Whereas classic liberalism is more in tune with civilian firearm ownership, but that has been swapped completely,
Yeah.
where the control left are acting more like Stalin and Hitler used to do than anybody else.
Yeah.
But they like to parade around like these, good people. They're not.
I mean, the way that I understood liberalism was like small government,
Yeah.
tiny government. The people govern themselves
Yeah.
to a point where the government will need to step in
Certain
if necessary.
checks and balances that's kind of agreed to by everyone. The
Exactly.
government is there to support the people.
Yes.
Public servants.
But the communities manage themselves.
Yeah.
That is the way that I understand liberalism. So I would consider myself
In the classical sense.
liberal.
Yes. Yes.
Because I don't want the government to encroach on my freedoms,
Yeah.
and I don't want the neighbors to encroach on my freedoms, and I want to
100%.
encroach on their freedoms.
Literally, it's like you could sum it up as like, leave me alone.
Yeah, just leave me alone. I leave you alone unless we have something in common and we want to do things together.
100%.
And I'm not going to bother you, not going
Yes.
to bother me. Everything's going to be cool.
100%.
I don't want Big Brother to come around and tell me what I can and can't do,
Absolutely.
because then I'm not free anymore. Then
100%.
liberal means free.
Yes.
I'm no longer free.
100%.
And it's crazy how that's been flipped. Liberalism now means like you can't say these words, you can't have guns, if like everyone has to be included on every little thing. It's like, okay, I want to be in the NBA. I can't play in the fucking NBA because I'm 6 foot. I'm not 7 foot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm literally not built for it. It's
100%.
like I can understand why I wouldn't be included
Yeah.
in the NBA.
But that's like common sense now,
Selection team.
coming into effect. And
And they should have their freedom to choose who they want to play in their team.
100%.
It makes like logical sense to me, because it's like I want the best person on my team.
Of course.
And if you're not the best person,
By merit.
if you're not the best person, I'm probably not going to pick you. Sorry.
Literally.
Like,
and that's the whole thing with like equal opportunity versus equal outcome.
Yeah.
You can go and try out.
Yeah.
You probably won't make it.
Yeah.
But you can go and try out. Nobody's stopping you from trying out.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, they need to pick the best players in order for the sport to progress. 100%. There's some interesting stuff happening now in the WNBA.
I saw that French. It was like a French basketball player or something like that.
So there's a chick that basically spoke. Oh man, I forget her name now. It's very cool to see. But now you've got like actual like retired NBA male players, like these giants that are like, you know what, like these big bearded dudes. Like I think, you know what, we should be all inclusive.
Yeah.
I'm going to try out for the WNBA. And now you've got these fucking cockroaches that are running around like trying to, now all of a sudden we need to have media talks and stuff about what does a woman really mean.
Yeah.
When it doesn't fit their narrative, now they need to scuttle around and change words and change the rule. I'm very interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Because by your own standards,
that should be okay.
Men or women or men, like whatever, anything goes. As long as it's not traditional, good, morally righteous type of stuff. Anything debaucherous and fucked up, cool.
Yeah.
So let's play that game.
Yeah.
I want to see how that turns out.
I mean,
it's going to be super interesting.
I saw that clip online about I think it was a French. I can't remember, but it was a dude like 6'5", like an absolute monster, and just like dunking on chicks, like dunking on them, and it's just like. And
it's woman abuse, bro.
There's a photo online of her like flexing in the mirror, like thick neck veins. I'm like, what the fuck? How is that person allowed to be in the same locker room as a bunch of women and then compete against them? It's just like to me, it's like logically, it's like that is the end of women's sports, because
it's the end of society.
It's
like end of days.
If you let men just filter into women's sports, it's like there's a reason that Usain Bolt runs 9 seconds, and the closest woman like is I don't even know what the stats are, but I don't think it's very close. And it's like there's a reason that there are those two separate divisions, is because men are built for physical things, and it's not like a misogynist thing. It's just like there's a reason that if a man lays his hand on a woman, society is outraged because obviously the amount of damage you can do as a man versus a woman is higher.
Yep.
And it's just like it makes so much sense, logical sense. But then it's okay for them to compete against each other in a sport because everyone needs to have a chance. And it's like you can't say like, hey, no, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it'll be weekend, luckily, and I think it's, and I challenge some of the people watching to actually speak out about this type of nonsense when it does present itself. Because I look, I mean, I've said it before. I'm not super religious necessarily, but I know evil when I see it, and I strongly believe that for evil to win, it takes good men to just sit back and do nothing. I think that is very, very important, especially now. For us to, I'm not saying like round everyone up and, like get rid of it. Absolutely not. But I mean, shit, bro, just speak out against weird stuff. When you
and the
see
thing
it.
is, it's like, if you want to be this type of way, that is fine.
Yeah.
As long as you're not encroaching on this person's freedom to play a sport.
Yeah.
Or like
100%.
go to a bathroom without feeling like, fuck, there's like a dude in here.
Literally.
Like,
and it's come full circle, bro. I mean, if you look back, I fully agree with that. We have come so far with this charade where you look at like the legitimate kind of like feminist movement and stuff, and we can go into a whole bunch of stuff on that. But essentially, women were fighting for equal rights, right? Their own space, their own basically spot under the sun to kind of do things. And now you've got, and that was seen as like quite like a left-wing kind of like movement at the time, fair. But now the current left-wing is absolutely undoing all of the hard work that real women have put
100%.
in over the years, and they are now being desecrated and just completely fucked with in their own spaces. Where you've now literally got men beating women physically. I'm talking like, I don't know if you've seen it, like in boxing, mixed martial arts and stuff. Like jawbones being broken, like just being ripped apart.
The one won the Olympics, right?
That was I think that was almost like a hermaphrodite situation.
No, so afterwards it came out, and the boxer was actually deemed male.
The chromosomes and all of that.
That had actually been now competing as a woman, and like
fuck that guy.
and also like, I don't know if you watched the match, but beat the fuck out of them. Like it wasn't close. It was like beat the fuck out of them. It wasn't competitive at all.
Yeah.
And like it's crazy to me that like we live in a society where it's like it's frowned upon to say like, I want to protect this group of the population.
Yeah.
And like it's frowned upon to say like, my wife, I don't want my wife to have to go and navigate the work world and like go out there and earn a living. Like if she doesn't want to, like if my wife wants to go do that, then cool, go do that. But if you want to stay at home and be with our family and let me do the work to support that, that's for me is the dream, because it's like 100%. My kids are going to be raised by my wife, by us.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have to now go out into like town by herself in South Africa where they're trying to take your guns away. And potentially get like hijacked and like robbed, and like maybe have like males in the office environment like harassed and stuff like that. Like there's all these things that could potentially happen. For me, it's like I want to protect
that like traditional way of
the
life.
woman in my life.
Absolutely.
And have their lives as easy as possible. And let me bear the burden as the man.
100%.
And somewhere along the lines, that's considered misogynist, or that's considered like male
toxic masculinity
or
and all of this other nonsense.
And it's like, I'm willing to shorten my lifespan, bear the stress, bear all the risk in life, so that you can be protected. But somehow I'm an arsehole for that.
But the thing is, where you've got that type of dynamic, right? And I think like from the people that I speak to, but I think like I am sheltered to some large degree. I don't know how you guys are dealing, with here in Cape Town. There's a lot of fucking weirdos this side. But typically people that I engage with are normal, rational kind of people. 1 + 1 = 2. There's two genders, like basic stuff. They understand, but basic, be a good person, help a child in need, help the old lady cross the road, get up early, do your push-ups, eat proper, just in a good mental space. People that are they've got some level of discipline and some level of responsibility, and
not to yourself,
accountability to
the
society
community
as well.
Exactly.
100%. So I'm very, very glad for that. I mean, I've worked with people that have had access or exposure to what I call the general population, and dude, there are crazy, crazy, crazy people out there doing very, very crazy things.
Mhm.
Now, what you've just described now, I think, is the ideal situation for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But because the workforce has had double the amount of people basically injected into it, there isn't all of a sudden more wealth and more rands available, or dollars or whatever.
No, everyone's fighting, competing for the same thing.
Everyone's now got a half wage.
So now women and men
typically.
are competing against each other
100%.
again.
Yeah.
And that's my
Yeah.
point. Is like what, like, let men compete against men for resources.
But that's the system.
It's like
The system wants your wife at work. The
Yeah.
system wants you at work and distracted. The system wants your child in some government school where they're going to teach them about transgenderism and that type of stuff. Make them weak people.
throw some Ritalin at them.
100%. Get them on the rat race wheel early, basically props up this I don't want to say evil society, but basically evil society that we're living in, where good is bad, bad is good, type of thing. And I think that if you can be in a situation where you are the man, the provider, somebody that will go to war with your family, you are doing the best that you were built to do, right? I mean, your wife is probably 100 times the mother that you could ever be.
Yeah.
I can say the same for my wife. I cannot do the things that she does.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No fucking way.
But for both my kids, for the first 3 months, I basically just like a straight, like I'm just sitting there like watching. I'm just like watching parenting happen.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't produce milk.
Can't say that nowadays.
the child wants the mother. It's like yes, there's a father-child bond, 100%. But when your child is screaming, going ballistic, you pick it up, doesn't not worried. As soon as you hand it over to mom, happy.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a natural order of things.
For the first 3 months of both my kids' lives, I might as well have just been like bystander. I'm like, can I help you? Can I go make you some tea? Like that's basically my job.
Yeah, I had very much the same experience. I actually took a month off of work when my kid was born, and like the first couple of nights I could both wake up.
Yeah.
And like I would also just like, can I pass you something? Can I, and then my wife actually said, listen, like you get rest and stuff because like you have to go do other stuff. Even though, I think about 3 weeks into that, I was like, listen, I'm going to go back to work now because that is how I contribute. I cannot, I mean, I can play a little bit and that type of stuff. I can help clean up and whatnot, but I am far more valuable doing my job, providing financially and physically to my household, making sure that we can stay in an estate that is safe, making sure that our bills are paid for and stuff. And my wife's also lucky enough to be able to. Well, I'm lucky enough that my wife can stay at home and look after my kids and basically have a role and shield them from the weird ideas out there. So it really is an ideal situation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like it's such a crazy thing to even like be talking about because it seems just so obvious.
Literally.
One of the things that I actually wanted to talk about is that in South Africa, a lot of people get it a little bit confused. Like I obviously going through like the whole process of like getting firearm and like doing the whole thing, that you actually learn that you don't actually have rights to own a gun, to have a gun in South Africa. It's considered a privilege.
Yeah.
We don't actually have gun rights.
Yeah.
What is your take on that? Do you think that's something that should be changed? Like, or if you could change it, do you think that's something that like should be changed? Like civilians should have the right to bear arms, not the privilege to bear arms.
Sure, man. It's an interesting thing. I must say, like, whether you call it a right or a privilege, I think that everybody has got the right to apply for the privilege or to go through the legal processes of obtaining a firearm. So obviously there's 3 steps: proficiency training. Anybody can go and purchase their proficiency books, that type of stuff, as long as you're not going to physically walk in and show that you're a weirdo, to the person that's administering the test. You can get the books, you can take them home, you can write your test, you go to class, you receive training, and if you pass the test, you understand the law, you are safe and proficient with your firearm, you will get your proficiency certificate. Once you've got that, you can apply at SAPS, right, for your competency, and provided that you don't have, crazy a history of mental illness, you're not a criminal, you haven't like got any violent convictions and that. So you definitely go through a process and background check. You get your competency. Then you go to the gun shop, you purchase your gun, and now is where the privilege part comes in. Because up until that point, like anybody can do it as long as you're not like a unfit person.
Well, anyone can actually go and buy a gun.
Anyone can also go.
You can just
buy
walk into the shop, buy a gun, but you can't leave it.
You can't leave with it. Basically, it stays so it's your property, so you can sell it to another person. In which case, you'll just give them paperwork.
Yeah.
So the gun stays under the lawful custody of somebody. So it'll be the gun shop at that point. Now you need to apply for a license for that firearm. This is now where the police can refuse you if your motivation and your supporting documents isn't strong enough. So this is one of our strong points as a business. We guarantee that you will get it if you use us. But I think that if you have gone through the training, because I think training is important.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
America, certain states like America has got the right to bear arms.
Yeah.
That is being infringed upon greatly.
Yeah.
This is something I didn't mention earlier. The cities with the highest levels of gun violence are the more
Strictest.
liberal cities, and I use that in the modern day bad sense. Where there's super strict gun control, there's limits on magazines, there's limits on what you can do and whatnot. And that creates a weak society where criminals thrive and murder rates go up. Typically your more conservative states, you've got a well-armed population that is much harder to mess with, much harder to rob and victimize. Your murder rates are much lower, but that also doesn't fit the narrative. But I think if you're going to go through the training, I think it's a great thing, right? Personally, because if you see American-made guns, there'll be like silly warnings on the side, like read owner's manual before use, because the guy literally maybe just walks in and doesn't know which way the bullet comes out of. So I think a little bit of training is like a good thing, how to take it apart, how to handle it properly and safely, and also to have a very good understanding of the laws in South Africa.
I must say that is one thing that is great about our system, is that it is very much like, okay, you got to do your proficiency, then you got to do your competency, and then you got to go and apply, and you got to have the right motivation before you can leave. Now, those 3 steps I think are so good. They're amazing.
If administered properly by people that are going to stick to time. If it's a fast and efficient system,
it's supposed to be.
No problem.
A couple months here, firearm.
Yeah.
It's usually like a year, and then firearm.
It goes in cycles.
Yeah.
Like I've had people wait very long, and then I've had people wait like a couple of weeks. Like there's no science behind the police, because unfortunately it goes through government systems.
And also everything's on paper.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? It's
analog.
crazy to me that like you can submit your tax returns, you can do all your banking, you can do all the things that actually like are really, really important in life online.
Yeah.
You can do everything digitally. In fact, SARS now, when you fly overseas, you got to do a digital form and hand it into them to tell them like what you're leaving with and fucking.
Well, I mean, it's the best. It's the most efficient and effective branch of government is the tax collection. Obviously,
got to take your money.
Yeah.
But for some reason, if you want to get a police clearance, it's all one fucking place in Pretoria,
and it's like paper.
And I've been there, and it's literally just like files, files and files. I'm like, if that thing set alight and it caught on fire, like everyone's police records would just be gone. I'm just like, how is it 2026 and we're still using pieces of paper to store massively important information? Like
third world country.
It makes no sense.
First world thought processes sometimes.
Imagine how much quicker the process would be if you could just do it digitally.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with all the steps that we need to take: the proficiency, the competency, and then the application. I love it. I think it makes safe. It makes people. It also sees who's like just wants to walk in and get a gun, and who actually wants to follow through with the procedure. It weeds out the people that just want to walk in and buy a gun to be cool.
Yeah. Or like, listen, I've got like a dispute with my neighbor. I'm just going to quickly go buy a gun.
Yeah.
Like, there's a naturally built-in kind of cool-off period.
Exactly.
There's actually a big push at the moment for a concept of license the person, register the firearm.
Yeah.
In which case,
much better.
If you go out and you get like your driver's license, right? You can have
as
multiple cars. Exactly. You don't have to motivate each car.
Yeah.
I want this bucky for this, and I want this car to do this, and I want, you know what I mean? If you are a fit and competent person, then you basically just go and register your firearms, and that can all be done digitally. I'm a big fan of that. That would knock my business greatly.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what we do is we help people through this arduous process of getting your license.
Yeah.
But this is how passionate I am about civilian rights in South Africa. I will happily champion this thing, even though I know it's going to take money out of my pocket,
Yeah.
because it's genuinely going to be a much better thing for South Africans. So you basically get the person up to scratch and then you register the farm. That makes far more logical sense, and it can all be done digitally. And I know that there are actually a couple of companies that have built software to be able to do this. The government just needs to accept it and basically implement it, which good luck.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
that we're sitting with.
I've never understood the whole like do a whole license application for each firearm. It's just like it makes no sense. It's like if I am competent, the government have said that I am competent to own a firearm or to use a firearm, and I should be able to get the license, just the same as we do with a car. Like you guys say that I'm able to drive a car, you give me a license.
Yeah.
However many cars I get is